What up, y'all? What up, what up, what up? Happy Friday. We're back for another edition of Behind the Music. Yes, Behind the Music. Tonight we're going to be speaking with Kadidia. I'm super excited. Singer-songwriter, independent artist, Kadidia from out in New York City. Shout out to New York. We're going to be speaking with Kadidia tonight, talking about her musical journey. She has an upcoming show as well, live show, so definitely you guys want to lock in for all of that. And just sharing this to a few people, but yeah, come on in, come on in, come on in. Happy Friday. What's up, y'all? Thank you for popping in. We're gonna be having a pretty good conversation with Kadidia tonight. That's from her song I'm playing right now, Serving God. That's from her EP Blooming. So let me get through a few announcements real quick. Kadidia, hey, what's up? Let me get through a few quick announcements. Now, New Music Friday, right? So of course you're all super excited. A lot of new music. Kiara Shear released her 7th studio album, and that's released today, titled All Yours. We were at her album listening party in New York City this week. Amazing. The place was packed. The energy was just on point. Really, super excited about this project. It's a great album. You guys should definitely go check it out. James Fortune to the Monica released a single as well, Trust in God. Ty Tribbett released all new live in Orlando. Ty is also going on tour starting on March 8th, so you got a few days. You can check out the calendar to kind of see what's going on. Hey, what's happening, Subway? You can check out the calendar to see what's going on with Ty. He's going on tour. A lot of great music that's going to be, releasing or has been released today. And speaking of tour, I mentioned Ty. There's also Todd Goldberg. Todd is also on tour, the Encounter Nights. That's starting March 16th. Again, check his calendars as well on his site. And then there's the It's Time Tour. Ladies, all ladies, It's Time Tour. Natalie, Tamala Mann, Naomi Reigns, Tasha Cobbs, Katie, and Taya. So it's, again, definitely a lot of exciting tour action. So you want to check that out. And of course, I can't forget Jonathan McReynolds' My Truth Tour. That's jumping off as well, starting April 13th. Marie, what's up? Shout out to Marie. That's starting as well. So again, that's just kind of your roundup real quick there with some new music that's released this week, and then tours and just all the things. Check out our page, follow us on all the platforms, grab yourself some merch. So I got on the shirt here, grab yourself some merch. But kind of rush through that, but without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get Kadidia in here. Kadidia, I'm gonna go ahead and just invite you in. I don't see a request. Let's do this. Okay, just invited you in.
Hey.
What's up? How are you?
How are you?
What's
Oh, wait,
going on? Oh, you have not hearing me?
Oh, now I can. It's good now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, light looks good. Sounds okay. So
All right.
we're good to go.
We're good to
You ready
go.
to jump into this?
Let's
talk about all the
let's
things.
do it.
All
Let's
the things.
do
I like it already. You're starting off with the energy already.
I'm
I like it.
no?
That's all that NYC energy. Shout out to
You
New
feel
York.
me?
New York
Because
in
we
the
be hyping.
building.
Right.
Let's
You be
go.
hyping the game.
Let's
There
go.
you go.
New York in the building.
Right.
So listen, man, I appreciate you hopping on to talk with us tonight.
Yes.
Talk about what's been going on with you, your musical journey. You got an upcoming show. Definitely going to be getting into that, and anything else that, that you may want to, leak while you're on the platform, any new videos, anything you want to talk about, we can get into all the things.
Get into everything.
Let's see where it goes.
I'm gonna tell.
Let's see what happens. Exactly.
Yes.
But now I gotta share my my quick story. So I think when I found out about you,
it was, I believe it was O'Dane from the Ology. So shout out to O'Dane, shout out to the Ology. Y'all in and around the Tri-City area, you definitely got to, pop up and pull up on them. So Dane sent it over. He's like, hey, I need you to check out this artist. It's a dope artist, check her out, see what's up. I'm like, all right, I'll check her out. I'm going to go into it with an open mind, and I went ahead, I checked out Spotify, pulled it up, pulled out your latest EP, which we're going to talk about, Blooming. And I think the song it dropped on was Sovereign God. And as I'm listening to this song, I'm like, yo, this is something. And I listened to it and it's finished. And I listened to it again and again and again. And it was just something about the song, something about the sincerity. There was just something in your song that I was like, all right, I definitely got to investigate this a bit more. So, whatever you started to do, continue to do. And, you definitely have something special there. So
thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you.
yeah, definitely. But, kind of taking a step back, like, how did you get your start, in all of this and decided, hey, I want to be a recording artist, I want to do all the things and just kind of, just jump out there. Yeah. Where did you kind of got your start from?
So I've been singing literally all my life, like from a little girl singing at church. My dad would like put me on a chair and I would sing the song when he would go to different churches. But I didn't start like singing seriously until like 2016. I met up with a producer from New York, Gary Coach. And I was really just like, let me just sing a song and put it on SoundCloud, not really taking it serious. And I guess he had the same reaction you did and was like, no, this actually needs to be a lot more. And we need to do more songs. We're not just going to put it on SoundCloud. We're going to release this on streaming platforms and really push you to, be a recording artist. And even then I still was a little hesitant, still was unsure. But after, after recording, after finding my voice, after, investing a lot into the work that I was doing, I realized like, this is actually something that I love. And I think I can keep doing it like for life if I want to. So after that, like I started releasing like, EPs here and there, doing a bunch of covers, kind of just taking it more seriously.
Now talk, and that's a great story, because again, it's always a situation where you think you're like, oh, I'm just gonna do this one thing, and then someone listened to it. So kind of even stepping back, because it's been at least at least professionally 5+ years since you released your first EP, right? So you've been doing this for a little minute now, starting off, but going back to that first moment when he's like, no, I think this is something worth taking a bit more seriously, worth adding some more structure around it and start working at that. Like, what was your first thought? Just hearing someone else validate that, like, what was your first thought?
I probably was just like, who, me? Like little old me, because at the time I would have been maybe like 18, 19, probably 19. So I was definitely just like, I don't know anything about this music thing. All I do know is how to sing, and that's it. So all the other technical things, I don't know anything about, but I'll just keep showing up. I'm a person who I'm going to do things that I'm afraid to do. If it scares me, I'm going to do it. So at the time, because I was hesitant, that gave me even more of a push to keep going, because I was like, I don't know. But I also trusted Gary. Like if he felt like he saw something worth investing in, I wanted him to, I wanted it to be worth it for him. Like, okay, if you're willing to invest, then I'm going to make it worth it by doing the work. So I showed up to the studio whenever I could, because at the time I actually lived in Florida and would come home during the summer. Yeah, because I went to school in Florida. So I would come home during breaks, record songs when I could, go back to school, come home, record again. So it was really just like a whole thing. But I wanted to make his investment worth it. And I still do till this day. So that's really why I go as hard as I do.
I like that. I like that. Naomi also said, if you do it, even if you're scared, that's good. See, you're already encouraging you're already encouraging everyone that's hopping on right there.
Yeah.
So you were in Florida, you were coming down and recording and going back up. Oh wow. So that's definitely some commitment for sure.
Yeah.
It's not like you were just hopping on the train or or driving over to the studio. So that was definitely some long distance
definitely.
commitment for
It
sure.
was definitely a time. Like any chance, any penny I got, we're giving it to studio time. Because I was 19, didn't even have a job, but any little penny, I was trying to make it work as much as I could. So
I like that. I like that. And then even from a, I guess from a musical influence perspective, like who are some, artists that have gone before you that have, motivated you or influenced you with your journey?
well, first and foremost, if the friends that I have in the comments, they know exactly who I'm gonna say. Because Brandy Rihanna Norwood, okay, Brandy Norwood gets top tier, like she's top tier for me.
Okay.
Nobody can
Okay.
pass Brandy for me. But also I grew up just surrounded by people who were also going after the same thing. Like, growing up and seeing O'Dane like go after his dreams in the same way and write these songs and, network and build relationships and record music and just other friends that I have, whether it was, at the time growing up, I was, with Naomi Rain, who just seeing her
Yeah.
like go to churches with her guitar. And I'm like, oh, this is good. Like, so all of that, just being surrounded by people who were, had the same goals, same vision. I think that also helped to like push me down the path that I was going down, because I could see people doing the same thing. So it's super inspiring, super inspiring.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone in the comment was saying Brandy, so clearly they know you.
They know.
They,
They know.
they know you. They rock. They rock with you. They know
Yes.
what's up.
Yes.
These are not just internet friends. They know what's up. These are friends. I like
They know
it.
the truth.
But you see, that it's important what you said just now, right? Because you mentioned just now, or speaking of O'Dane, you were just talking about O'Dane just hopped in. You were saying just now about just being around people that inspired you, right? You seeing what they're doing and how they're, taking what they're doing seriously and they're continuing to pursue their dreams. And that in it of itself just motivates you to go ahead and do that. So touch a little bit on just surrounding yourself with people that's going after things and that's able to motivate you versus, you're in a situation where, you're the top person in that circle. Like just talk about how you being in the circle where you were at with Naomi, with everyone else, and what that kind of did with the push for you.
Yeah, I think like being surrounded by like-minded people is going to challenge you, because not only will they kind of, it's something to reflect on. Like you see their journey and it's not to compare, but to say like, okay, they're doing it this way. How can it work for me? How can I push myself? And if you're also surrounded by people who will challenge you and say, all right, I see what you're doing, but you can do it better. That was also very important. Like speaking of O'Dane being on here, O'Dane has hit me up so many times to say, you're actually not doing this like as efficiently as you could. Here are some other strategies, right? So they'll also, bring you back to the drawing board and say like, okay, this is a better way to do this, or you're doing great. Like not just to tell you what you're doing wrong, but to, inspire you and to just continue to motivate you and encourage you along the journey, because it is a journey. My God, it's a journey. It definitely gets hard. It definitely gets tiring. It definitely gets exhausting where you want to give up. And being with people who, understand the language, understand what it is to like lose sleep, what it is to like want to give up all the time, and they're able to speak life into you when they see you like ready to give up. That is super important. And that has definitely been so helpful for me, just in this journey to not give up, because every day I'd be like, why am I doing this? But, thanks be to God for the people he's placed in my life to, help me on that journey for sure.
No, that's good. Now, you said a lot of things. Yeah, even Christy Style says a positive community is so important, and that's key. What you said just now, right? Someone that's going to come along and not just yes you to death, right? But it's going to be honest with you to say, hey, this is kind of what you're doing, what you could do better, but also when you are doing things good, come along and complement those things and help you build on what you're already doing good and change those other strategy. And I think that's a definition of true friendship, of a true team, of just, whether formal, informal, however way you may look at it. But I think we all need that, right? We need someone that's going to keep it 100 with us, right? Like this, like like the younger kids, you know, like my kids would say, you know, keep it a buck. I don't even know if they still say that anymore, but
They,
whatever.
I mean, I don't know, but I still say it, so I think it's
See,
okay.
exactly.
But
But
it's
man,
so
definitely.
important. It's so important. Like this whole, especially after a while, I've been very intentional about keeping people around me that affirm my vision. And it's not simply
Mm,
people that just say yes, but people
of course.
who are not going to bring doubt into the room. Like that is so important. Like you can't be around me if I say something that is big. Like if I think of a big thing and you're worried about
Hmm.
the finances, if you're worried about who's going to believe in it and all that stuff. Like, I can't deal with that because I'm already doubting and afraid on my own. And if you're going to be
Yeah.
a part of the circle, you have to affirm and like push the dream with me and bring the strategy and the resources too, because that's also part of a good team too. You have to bring something to the table. And I think that's also like I'm bringing something to their table. They're bringing, we all finna eat.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like we're all gonna eat at this table. So I think that's also part of like great community as well.
I like that. I like that. Even you, O'Dane mentioned that's good too, right? See,
Mhm.
affirming the vision, what's that? At least say, yeah, affirming the vision doesn't mean only saying yes,
Yeah.
and that's true. And I like what you said also too about not bringing doubt into the room, right? It's one thing to have concerns about the strategy and
Mhm.
discuss how we can get to that destination, but just don't bring doubt to say, hey, this is too big.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do this. That's too expensive, or whatever the case is. So I'm really, really glad that you were saying that,
Yeah.
because I think anyone else that's going to go back and listen to this definitely, have to evaluate our own circles, right? If the
Mhm.
person that you've brought into that inner circle is constantly bringing doubt, constantly showing you all the things you can do, then you may have to draw some lines, draw some boundaries, and kind of reestablish what that looks like. So that's key for sure.
Yeah. I love what Tasha said. She said, not just a safe space, but a faith space. Yeah.
Mm,
That's super
that's
important.
good. Everyone is coming through, man. I love what you said on point about that. Like-minded people. There you go. I
Oh
love it. I
no.
love it. Keep.
Sorry.
Oh, what?
My light just
Oh,
went out. I
keep.
don't know why.
Oh, keep.
Go ahead.
Keep the conversation going for sure, yo. So now one thing I wanted to find out too, right? So in terms of you balancing or staying true to your own artistic vision, right? So it's one thing, especially when you're starting out and you're seeing everyone else around you and what's working for everyone and what may not be working. There's a lot of new trends and everything else out there, but just staying true to your own artistic vision and what you believe God has called you to do, and your portion of the vineyard, if you may. Because I went back and I listened to all your music, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of common themes that is in there, and it's pretty much the same vision, the same artistic flow. Like a lot of it is kind of in there that you've embraced that. So how did you manage to just stay true to that?
I mean, I think first things first is really knowing yourself. And I know that sounds like probably cliche. And I would even go as far to say that I fully know like who I am or who God has
Hmm.
called me to be or what the exact journey that he's putting me on. Like I'm still learning over time. But as I'm growing and as I understand like what my purpose is here on earth, like that's how I stay true to myself. So I think it comes really with like just accepting who God has called you to be and really seeing yourself through his eyes. So once I kind of got there, then it helped me to know that it helped, it made it easier to not look at the person on the left and the right of me and
Hmm.
say like, oh, I wanted to be like them. And even though, trust me, at times I definitely have moments like that where I'm like,
Hmm. Hmm.
ooh, like they're doing it so well, like I want to do it like them. And then I remember like, no, like there's a specific assignment that God has placed on me that is to bring people to him. And if I'm doing
Yeah,
it the way that somebody else is doing it, then I'm not doing it the way that he's designed me to do it.
perfect.
So that has definitely helped me to stay true to myself and really just trusting that God is intentional in making me the way that he made me. And sometimes I do get nervous because I know like the songs that I make aren't always, you know, lift your hands in the sanctuary and praise his name. Like it's not always, sometimes I'm going to talk about life. I'm going to talk about heartbreak. And that was scary to do because I was like, oh man, the
Mm-hmm.
people are going to be like saying I backslid and I'm now doing secular music when I'm when I'm just doing I'm doing a song that he gave me, right? Like Fight for Me, for example. Like I do believe he gave me that song to speak to
I was
myself
gonna
and
ask about
also
that. So jump right into it. Yeah.
yeah, like sing the heart songs of people that people who are also believers may not have, you know, the song to sing. Like that's probably what he put me here to do, to sing those hard songs that some people may be afraid to do. So yeah, that's how I say true to myself, just like trusting that God knows what he's doing and he's going to give me the strategy to do it.
And I think too, right, because some of the themes in some of your EPs also touched on self-acceptance and purpose, right? And in kind of getting to the place, because I think purpose is huge, right? In everything that you're doing, you have to know what your purpose is, right? Or else you're just going to be pulled back and forth in every which direction. So you know, just kind of honing in on that. You know, for
Yeah.
someone that is trying to figure out what they're doing or trying to lock in on their purpose, like how did you arrive where you can say, hey, you know, I feel like I've really, you know, got to the place where I know what my purpose is. I know I'm refining it of how, you know, what I'm doing, but I kind of know what my purpose is. Like how did you get to that space?
I would say like, I always say it like this, I put all my eggs in his basket. I remember when I was applying for school and, you know, I was only applying to one school because that's the school that I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And my mom was just like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to do that because if that don't accept you, then you're going to be sad and you're not going to have anything. And it's like, all right, I understand that when it comes to like the worldly secular life, right? But if God is, or if I'm asking the Lord to order my steps, right? And he's telling me that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it is a part of the purpose of why he put me here. I'm going to put all my eggs in that basket. I'm not going to have a plan B. I'm not going to have a plan C trying to see, okay, if this don't work, then I'm going to, you know, do it this way. Like, no, I'm going to literally surrender to the journey that he's calling me to. And I wasn't always sure. Honestly, I'll say this. Even though I wasn't sure, there was always something inside that was saying like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And I was just afraid, right? I was allowing fear. I was allowing the thoughts to like, you know, come into my head and make me think that that way was not the best way. But I think we all really always know what we're supposed to be doing. I think we all know. Like, I think if you have the Holy Spirit within you, and even I think like the Lord still speaks to us and lets us know like what our direction is. And I think we really sometimes just get scared. And it's really the fear that makes us like detour and go the easier route. Because we don't want to do the hard thing. We don't want to do something that's scary. We don't want to do the thing that is going to take a lot of faith, because it means that we're going to take an L, and we don't want to see that. But if you really understand that there's really no L's when you follow God, right? When you follow what he told you to do, like there's no such thing as an L. It's going to hurt. It may not always be easy, but you know, what's the song say? Nobody told me the road would be easy, but it's going to be purposeful. It's going to be exactly what he designed you to do. When you look at it like that, like this is what he designed me to do, the creator of the world, like he created everything in the earth and he still thought that I needed to be here. So what is it? I owe it to him to do all that he put me here to do. I owe it to him to like see it to the end and not just stop because I see that it's a little scary and it's not all that easy. So I think y'all know what to do. Y'all know what y'all need to do. It's just to do it. Do it scared. He come on. Let's not waste more time. Like, time is short.
Listen, yeah. Like everyone is just I think you're definitely encouraging everyone. The full surrender can be scary, one person said, and then truly Fjord said, I love Kadidia's honesty and transparency. It's so freeing. Yeah, definitely. Why not you, God? God called you to do it. Just do it. Yeah, I think everyone's definitely agreeing, but I've never heard anyone put it quite that way, putting all your eggs in God's basket. Like, you know, I've never heard that. And I think I'm gonna latch on to that. I'm definitely gonna give you credit to it. The next time I say that in an interview, don't worry about that. Don't send the lawyers after me, all right?
It's all right.
but
you
no,
know,
but that's
it's really good. No,
that's good. That's
honestly,
good. That's
it's not
good.
even, I won't even take credit for it and say it's my words. I'm telling you, the Lord literally, I remember my dad, because he was nervous kind of about the same thing. Like, all right, you sure about this music thing? And I'm just like, I need y'all to stop coming to me asking me that same question. Stop coming to me with that same question. And the Lord was just like, yo, put all your eggs in my basket. I was like, hello. And that's it. So it's the Lord who gave me the word. It's okay. You can take it.
Nah, nah, I love it. I love it. That's all good stuff right there. Now, talking about the EP, before we jump in, I'm definitely going to be touching on some of the other stuff that you have done. But this last EP, Blooming, you mentioned Fight for Me just now, but the first time I'm listening to Fight for Me, and I'm like, this song is wonderful. Like, she's like really out here just, talking about all the things. So what was some of the backstory behind Fight for Me? I mean, yeah,
So
Fight for Me. Mm-hmm.
Fight for Me was a real life story. I had a friend of mine who we were best friends for a few years. And as we just started transitioning in life, you could tell that our friendship was also just starting to get a little weird. Like we would be around each other and it would be silent and it would just be weird. And she hit me up one day and just told me that she outgrew me. And it was like, why? This is actually not the first time I've heard this. I've actually heard somebody else, like I think a best friend I had before that, like basically said the same thing to me.
Wow.
And it was so heartbreaking. So it was literally like a breakup.
Yeah.
And she used to stay at my house pretty often. So I had like her clothes and I brought it to her house. And literally from my house to her house, which is probably about an hour drive, I wrote the whole song.
Oh, wow.
And that was that. Yeah, because I was really in my bag. I was sad. You wanna write a good song? Get your heart broken.
Y'all don't be going around breaking people's hearts randomly just to get good songs out there.
Listen,
right?
why we think Jasmine Sullivan comes out with the best albums when she's sad?
I'm not even gonna hold you to that. And then now talk about Take Me Back, because that feature with Joel Barn, love Joel, love the feature,
Amazing.
the collab, both of your voices together just like really blend, and it was just amazing. So how did you even go about getting Joel to collab on that? Like, what is the story behind that?
So I mean, I honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it, like to say like I wanted somebody to feature, but I just didn't know who. And a friend of mine was just like, hey, I know the people and I think he would actually be perfect. And they connected us and we had a conversation on the phone. I gave him like background story. And we actually have similar stories that he's spoken about, like, the passing of his brother, which I also had the same story. So we were able to connect because that's kind of, the storyline behind the song of like, take me back to those moments where I wish I could have saved the person that I love that, passed away or that, left or whatever the case was. So I think that's also what made it easy to, sing that song together, because not only did what made it easier vocally was because we connected on lyrically, like what the story was about. And he was amazing, as y'all already know, like that's no question. He's amazing. He made the process super, super easy. Like I didn't feel like, oh God, it's Joel. Like, ooh, I didn't feel scared. I feel very comfortable, like talking to him. So that was definitely a dope experience. I definitely hope we get to do more. Like that would be so dope.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the video for that. I'm just gonna say, definitely can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see that. I'm sure, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But no, that's definitely good, man. Because someone else also just said Kadidia is low key my therapy with these songs. The next person said Take Me Back is definitely my hit. So you're right here, being therapist and all the things.
But why that's interesting? Like someone's saying that, it's just funny because I'm a social worker, which means I do actually do therapy.
Oh wow, okay.
So when I chose to do music, like I don't separate the two of like therapy and music. Like they really work together, and I really felt like that's also why the Lord has me doing the type of songs that I'm doing, because I'm supposed to like help people through their journeys, not only like in the office when somebody sitting on the couch, but also when I'm streaming music and they're listening to my songs while driving. Like we're connecting on all levels. So I appreciate that.
You know what? That makes perfect sense. So look at that. You guys are getting 2 for 1. So if you're not ready to
Right?
book that session yet, just go back and pay for all the albums. It's probably cheaper to go
Okay.
and pay for all her past EPs
This
before
is
you lead up to
good.
that session. So there you go. There you go. Go back and do
This
all
is
of that.
good. You heard the man. Buy all the music. It's cheaper that way.
Good. Exactly. Now, I know you got an upcoming performance, but before we even talk, not performance, rather concert, but before we even talk about that, you've been doing a lot of, open mic nights. You've been performing a lot of places, and not all of these places are churches or Christian only venues and so forth. A lot of these are secular places and so
Hmm.
forth. And you were sharing, recently about one of the venues that you were at. It was a secular venue and you were performing. So what was that experience like? Because I think a lot of times it's safer and easier to perform, Christian songs in a church, and the saints are there. The saints know how to clap, they know how to twirl, they know how to do all the things. But when you're out, you know, directly in front of those that really need what you're presenting, like what was that experience like?
I mean, anytime I have a performance in a space like drum or SOBs or like, I think I had a gig, or I think I sang at a place that was called Hell's Pit or something like that.
Oh
And
wow.
okay, it was definitely, the skulls was on the walls. It was people were drinking their drinks. Um, but the goal is the same. The goal is the same. If not, I think there's more of a charge. I think singing in
Hmm.
spaces where people don't even know um, God at all, right? So when I go into church, right, I'm with like-minded people, and we gonna worship together, right? And when I walk into places like that, I'm singing to people who have no idea, right? I don't know their walks of life,
Hmm.
but they don't have any idea who God is, or some of them probably don't believe in God. And I just walk in with the goal that my assignment here is to, I'm not about to like scream, I'm not about to beg. I'm just going to literally just be the light in the room. That's it. Because that's literally what we're supposed to do, right? Just walk into the room and be the light, and let the Holy Spirit do the work. And literally any time that I go into a space like that, the Holy Spirit does the work. I don't need to help him. Like, he does the work, and I sing the songs, I say the things that he wants me to say. And they respond. They're always receptive, like always receptive, which is so crazy to me. Because sometimes you go into the church house and the people will sit there and look at you because you're singing a new song that they never heard. Hello, that's another word for another time. But you go into a place like this, and with the drinks in their hands, smoking in the corner, and they're like, the sun is shining, or like whatever song I'm singing, and they're just
Mm.
so engaged. And it's just like, yes, like this is what it's about. We
I
are
love
supposed
that.
to evangelize. And if that's my way of evangelizing, that's just what I'm gonna do. Like, we're all supposed to evangelize, and that's my way.
We
And
we,
I love it
we
every
are.
time.
No, that's so true. Even Dallas is agreeing with you. Dallas Ford says Christian music is for the unsafe. The truly safe is already covered. So yeah, I'm
Come
in
on.
agreement with that for
Yeah.
sure. I'm in agreement with that for sure, Dallas. But no, I mean, again, you clearly have taken on, that approach, because kind of going back and as I'm doing my research and looking at all that, I'm like, oh wait, he did an open mic night here, performed here, there, and all of these venues are not like your typical venues. Because I've been to SOBs before when when a favorite artist have came into town, and these places are not like your these are not your youth nights, right? I'll just put
Yes.
it this way, right?
Right.
But it's
Right.
really good that you're going in there and you're being, unashamed, and you're being unapologetic with who God called you to be, and
Yeah.
knowing that charge and knowing that purpose you were talking about earlier, but just going there and sharing and just being a blessing to others in these various, venues and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah. That's when I
And
feel like I'm walking in alignment. It's good. Yeah.
no, no, go
No, I
ahead,
was just
sister. Go
saying,
ahead.
like I think that that's sometimes what helps people to realize that they're walking in purpose. Like, when I feel like I'm walking in alignment, and I
Mhm.
feel like, oh, this is good. Like, just that feeling, like that's when I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So
I like it. And one thing else I guess I wanted to ask too, is that you've been doing this now 5+ years you were saying just now, but for someone else that is just now getting started out, right? Because you may think you're now getting started, but I think 5 years in, you learned quite a few things, right? From a professional standpoint, you started to do that. You've learned some things, you've made some errors, there's certain things you've refined in your process. But what would you say to that person, recording that very first single, thinking about it, all the thoughts in their head, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Like, kind of going back and forth. What would you say to that person?
I would say to trust your voice. You're probably in a room with people that know probably more than you, but that doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing at all. So I would say to trust your voice. It took me a while to trust my voice because I was afraid and felt like they know more than me or they're doing it better. And now I'm like, I actually knew what I was talking about. So I would say to find your voice and trust your voice. Trust the Holy Spirit within you. Trust what he's saying to do. Because not everybody's going to understand why you're probably doing it a certain way, right? So I would say, yeah, trust your voice and yeah.
Love it. Trust your voice. Trust your voice and trust the voice within you. I like it. Someone else is agreeing with you. Absolutely. All right. So, we were talking about, what's been happening, but aside from that, you've been super busy preparing for this live performance, Kadidia, the live experience that is happening on March 10th. March being the best month of the year. I'm just going to say that because March is my birthday. My birthday is the 11th. I know this is not about me. It's not about me, but I'm just saying it's really close. So I definitely got to pull up. I definitely got to start the celebration by being in the building. So definitely I'm going to make that happen for sure. But, talk about, what can everyone that's been, thinking about this, preparing for this, just, purchasing their tickets, and tickets, they can hit the link in your bio. They can hit the link in our bio because we put it up there as well too, where they can go and get these tickets. Tell us, who else is going to be there with you. I know you have, one or two features that you're going to be bringing with you, and what can they expect from this night?
So I also have Ryan Avery, who's going to be in the building. And if you haven't heard Ryan Avery, you are definitely up for a treat. Not just like vocally, but honestly, one of my favorite creatives. He definitely just enters a room and knows how to adjust a song to be totally insane. So you're definitely open for a treat with that. But this night is really just a night to reflect. I think, we said, like, I've been doing music for like 5+ years, which isn't a long time, but I kind of want to sing songs that I've been doing from day one. And it's a time to reflect. And I think sometimes when you reflect, you can see where you're going. Not like a long look back, but you kind of just glance back and it's just like, oh, I've been doing a lot. I've been doing a lot over these past 5 years. And we're going to celebrate that moment. We're going to celebrate God for, like, inspiring those moments and really like see where he's going next. So it's hopefully a night to also inspire, the people in the room who are also creating, to help them to reflect on like what God has done for them in whatever span that they've been creating, and really like thank God in that moment. Like, yo, God, you've been holding me down. Because sometimes we get just so distracted by like where we are and what's not happening. And it's like, yo, I've really done a lot. I've done a lot, like not a lot, but I've done a lot for someone who barely had anything. And I used the resources that I had and I made it work. And it's like, yo, to God be the glory. And we're going to have this night of celebration. We're not going to wait for like the Grammys. We're not going to wait for the big old things. In this moment in New York City at New Blue, we're going to reflect. We're going to give God praise and just have a good time, honestly. Like, it's just gonna be a vibe. Like I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be dope. Hopefully my voice works because allergy season is among us and I don't know what's happening, but God be praised.
No, that's, you see that I'm I'm already hyped because when someone from New York is getting hyped, be like, yo, God, thank you for holding me down. Like, facts, it's gonna be a vibe. Like, it's all there.
We gotta talk to God like that. Like, yo, you a real one.
You got like
OG for real. You feel me? You owe
Thanks
me.
for holding me down. Yeah. Oh man, but man, definitely, man. I'm excited
Yeah.
about what's coming up, and what's gonna be happening. Again, we're like literally a week away, exactly a week away. Today's the third, right? Yep. So it's next Friday.
Next
Next
Friday.
Friday, y'all. Next Friday. It's a celebration. It's a taking a stop, taking a pause, just reflecting back. And like you said, celebrating everything in between, what's to come ahead. And, for everyone else that's going to be in the room as well, as you're saying, we're super proud of you, Kadidia, proud of you, kid. So look at that. I mean, you definitely have they say it takes a village, but you definitely have a good, group that's behind you,
Yeah.
that's pushing you, that's celebrating you. And I think that's super dope just to kind of see as an independent artist, someone that's starting out to really, garner that, at this particular point in time. So that's a whole lot to celebrate, by itself. But no, Kadidia, definitely appreciate you coming on tonight, talking about what you got going on, the new EP that is there, blooming. Y'all, go back and get that EP, get blooming, change, epiphany. I mean, get all the things, because like I'm telling you, if this is gonna help you as therapy, you want to get these, all right, before you start shelling out that dollars. Nothing against therapists, but go back and get the music. Get the music. Just get the music. Get the music. You're hearing her story, and that's why we like having these conversations, right? Because just to put a face behind the music, put the story behind the music, because it's one thing when you're looking at the cover art, you're looking at all that, but really, there is real persons behind these things. You have your own challenges, you're navigating, you're trusting God just like the next person, but you're still doing and going forward. So it's really great just to have these conversations, just to put the person's face and story behind it. So no, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate your authenticity, because you kept it real, you kept it 100, and
Always.
you just
always gonna keep it a buck.
I love it. I love
it.
Anything
thank you
else
for having
you want?
me. That's
No,
it. Just
no,
thank you for having me. Like it really means
sure.
a lot. Like, you've been definitely helping, and I really appreciate that so much.
No, that definitely. So I mean, yeah, guys, that's we're a week away, exactly a week away. You can hit Kadidia's bio, you can hit our bio, you can go ahead and get your tickets. She should not have one seat empty in the building. All right,
Listen,
we
we
want
don't
to
have
be able to
a
get
sold
everything.
out night. It better be sold out.
Yes,
Right.
sold out, man, sold out. All right. Tell a friend, tell another friend, tell someone else if they're thinking about going somewhere else March 10th. Be like, nah, scrap those plans. Here's where we're going now, all right? Here's where we're gonna go. So that's what it's gonna be. But nah, Kadidia, thank you so much for hopping on.
Thank you.
Definitely gonna try to be there as well too, so we can celebrate with you and everything else that's happening.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining. Appreciate y'all.
All right, thank you everyone. Take care.
All right.
Yes, y'all. Thank you so much for jumping on this evening with us for another edition of Behind the Music with Kadidia. Again, y'all go ahead, support her music. Check her out on Spotify. Check her out on all the platforms. Go ahead, follow her on social media so you can make sure that someone can go ahead and pin her social media as well. But go ahead, follow her. She's doing some amazing things. Independent artists are definitely, out there. They're, juggling between their regular jobs and everything else. But y'all make sure you go ahead and support them. All right, take it easy, y'all.